Joe Stapleton. Hello.
I know how to make an appearance. That was my way of
Yeah,
hiding
you're like,
myself. You don't want the audience to see you like Mickey at Disneyland. You don't want to let them see you with my hat off, with my big costume face off. Hi,
yeah.
Olivia. How are you?
Hi,
Nice to
I'm
speak to
very
you.
well, thanks. Yeah, nice to see you.
Isn't it
It's the
weird that
sec.
in in
You're
in in
gone.
this day and age that if you want to talk to your friends, it's way easier to get them to come on a podcast than to do a
Yeah.
phone call?
I don't even, if I watch my phone ring, I literally don't answer it and I'm texting. I'll just call you later and then
Yeah,
never
or
call them.
podcast, but I'll be there. I'll be there at a designated time because I fucking
Exactly.
love being on camera.
Yeah, I know. I miss the olden days. I'm a millennial. You a millennial?
I am technically a millennial by 1 year, but I am spiritually Gen X. I
Gen
claim Gen
X.
X. Yeah, I
I
feel
really.
a lot more connected to Gen X than millennials.
Okay. Well, I feel like a millennial. I actually feel like, no, I definitely don't feel like Gen Z. No way. I have very different views and have partied a hell of a lot more than Gen Zs seem to do. So, but yeah, I was going to say, so obviously this is the second time we've actually met, like really, and I'm not even with you. So we met in Colorado last year, right?
We did. We had breakfast.
We did. And
It
I'm
wouldn't have
terribly
been
sorry.
my choice of my way of meeting you, by the way. I would have
Yeah.
chosen probably a more fun setting than breakfast. But it was finally time that we had
Mm.
met. that
Yeah.
the that the girl from my Facebook page who has great photos and seems to lead a very charmed and fun life. I don't even know how we're friends, honestly.
Mm.
Like I don't know
Well,
how I know you.
I think like back in the day, literally
I
a
mean, I know
long,
how we're
long
friends that you have that face and that hair and and that that's
yeah,
why we're friends, but I don't know how
right.
that came onto my
That's the only reason we're friends. My face and my hair. Thank you. I
yeah.
appreciate that. But no, I think like it's from back when I was dating a certain poker player like years and years and years and years ago. And somehow did I add you? Did you add me? I have no idea.
I was not. I am like I. First of all, I am engaged. I just want everyone to know that. But when I was
Hmm.
not engaged, I was a very prolific dater. I was pretty good at it, but I wasn't big on just adding randos on Facebook. That wasn't really my style.
Hmm.
So even though I
Probably
would have
me.
wanted to, my ego wouldn't allow me to like have you go to your friends and go, "Look at this guy just added me. I don't know him." So I think it probably would have been you, or maybe I think what would have happened. I think we interacted a bunch on another's friends page, like a lot,
Hmm.
and then it wouldn't be just me being like, oh, friend
Yeah.
request girl I don't know. I think that we connected mentally on maybe a couple of different Facebook posts. But can you say who the poker player was?
Yeah, Gav's 101. Yeah, like he was a great guy. He is a great guy. He's alive. And
He
he
didn't kill himself after you?
that's happened to me before.
Oh
So,
right, I forgot about that. Great job,
but that's
Stapes.
the yeah, that's
Awesome.
fine.
Way to bring that up.
No, I make jokes about that. I'm from Britain. We have
That's right.
dark humor from here. But no, basically, Gavs was amazing, like absolutely fantastic guy. It was me who I think this is why I chose the name Unhinged for my show. Was incredibly unhinged during that relationship, and he's a really, really fantastic person. I have nothing bad to say about him at all. And I hear he's married now and doing very well. Are you? How is he doing poker wise? Do you know?
I do not know offhand the real name of Gav's 101.
Gavin
So
Cochran. I should be.
he's not
Yeah.
on my radar very much is all I'll say. He may be doing great.
Right.
He's not someone that regularly shows up in the events I cover. So but I do want to say I'm contractually obligated, well, legally obligated, not contractually, but legally court ordered obligated to say that I
Mm.
also have nothing bad to say about any of my exes.
Oh, that's good. You're court
Yes.
ordered, yeah?
Yes.
Fantastic. Yeah, I should be, but I live in Mexico. Maybe I should have. But okay, so I'm just gonna dive in. So you've kind of lived in this world of like poker and comedy chaos, but who is Joe Stapleton when none of that is there?
Oh, I'm a big sweetie pie. I'm a
Yeah.
kid. I'm really just a kid at heart. I live the life that I would have loved to live as a 15-year-old,
Mm-hmm.
And so I play a lot of video games and drink a lot of soda and alcohol.
Yeah.
And um, I used to really enjoy, you know, having a good wank from time to time, and
Used to
movies,
enjoy.
and binge watching television and McDonald's, and
Right.
going to arcades and playing darts,
Mm-hmm.
and just general fun and shenanigans.
Okay.
I kind of that's who I am, and I'm a big sweetie pie. I'm a bleeding heart. I care about people way too much. You know how you
Yeah,
meet
I
people who go,
noticed.
I don't care what other people think. I really care
Yeah,
what other
so do
people
I.
think. I care a lot what people think. I think most people who say that mean the exact opposite. But no,
Yeah.
I really care what people think, and I like to do good in the world whenever I can.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and then I also like to, you know, eat junk food.
Mm-hmm. So you're pretty chilled when you're out of that world, I guess, because you're just continuously on tour and doing, yes,
Well, what I'm
comedy one
finding
day.
out through therapy, through once again court ordered therapy, that
Sorry,
I
not funny.
am the least chill guy. Like I appear very chill, and I
Mm,
want everyone to think I'm very chill, but I'm actually wound pretty tight.
really?
It turns out, yeah, it turns out so as diagnosed by my court ordered therapist, it turns out that I operate at such a high level of anxiety all of the time
Mm-hmm.
that when I experience a little bit more anxiety, it can make me snap.
I'm
Uh,
exactly the same.
okay.
Exactly the same. Yeah, I have severe anxiety disorder and borderline personality disorder. So,
But it just feels
yeah.
normal to me. Like I don't, and I also, I don't want to get rid of it entirely because my high level anxiety makes me hyper aware of my surroundings. And so,
Mm-hmm.
for example, let's say we're at breakfast and I'll be like, that couple's breaking up. That guy's about to get in
Yeah.
a fight with the waitress. This person is about to skip out on their check. Like I can see all of that stuff happening, which
Mm.
on the one hand is good, but on the other hand, it's hard to be present a
Yeah,
lot of the
yeah. I
time. And it's,
can
yeah,
totally relate. Is that's actually I've heard those are ADHD traits as well. It's kind of a superpower in a way, and it's also hard work
I
because
had one person recently tell me that she thought I had ADHD. I think that whatever level of ADHD that we are born at or have developed in our adolescence, the phone
hmm
amplifies it. So, like, let's say
completely.
I was this much ADHD, which I don't even know is even a thing. Is it a spectrum? I don't know. Let's say I was
Yes.
this much of it. The phone now makes it so that not 1 second of my day has to be empty.
hmm
And so I go up and I order a coffee at a coffee shop, and it's going to be 2 minutes to the coffee. And I'm like, what can I do on my phone for these 2 minutes? Sometimes productive, sometimes not. But just, I would say more than ADHD, I'm a dopamine addict,
Mm.
and that
Yeah,
I
same.
just need to fill my life with pleasure 24/7.
But isn't aren't the jobs you do like don't they give you anxiety all day long as I guess as well as dopamine? But like surely stand-up comedy for me is something that I could never. Sorry, there's building work going on outside, of course. Mexico.
It'll be a
Um,
great country once they finish it.
that'll never happen. No, the economy is booming here now. Um, but yeah, what was he even saying? This is
You were
ADHD.
talking about anxiety levels during stand-up comedy,
Yeah,
how
so
you could
like
never do it.
I know, like when we so your first gig, like for instance, I don't even if you're a hyper aware, anxious person, how the hell did you get through that?
This is a great question, and here is the God's honest truth. The first time I did stand-up comedy, I was forced to do it by Bobby Lee. I was working on a television show with Bobby, and he was very kind. And one day he asked me, "What do you want to do with your life?" And I said, "I think I might want to try stand up comedy." And like the next week, he came in. He was like, "You're doing comedy this Sunday night at the Comedy Store, the potluck open mic. You have no idea how hard it is to get into this. People wait their entire careers to try to get in this open mic, and you're doing it. And if you don't go, I will never speak to you ever again."
So no
Now,
pressure. Yeah.
to be fair to him, I did not understand how hard it is to get into the potluck open mic at the Comedy Store. And I did later in my career wait several weeks outside trying to get into this open mic. And I finally did. So, like 15 years later, I did it a second time. But back to that first time, I had
Mm,
so much anxiety that
hmm.
I blacked out on stage. Like, I did say the words, that some of the words I was supposed to say, but I remember just sort of going into a fugue state and like time jump, and I hear Bobby yell from the side of the room, "Bro, the light's on," which means that my time is up, and it must have been on for
Oh,
some significant amount of time for him to have yelled that at me. And it was terrible. It was very, very bad. And
yeah.
my best friend was also in attendance. I only let one person know I was going. He said it was like childbirth. It was both beautiful and disgusting at the same time.
Right.
And so the anxiety from that, I
Yeah.
didn't do stand up again for like 7 years.
Oh, wow. So it was that
I
bad.
lied to people and said I was going to the occasional open mic and said that I was doing it, but it took me 7 years to get the balls to go back on stage again. And
Wow.
then it would take me months in between those next couple times. And sometimes I would go and I would chicken out and I would leave, or
Yeah.
I would go and be relieved that my name didn't get called. And
Yeah.
that went on for probably 2 years in LA, and then something miraculous happened. I
Mm.
moved to London, and the
What's one?
comedy scene is so much different there and so much more kind and rewarding that I still
Really?
had anxiety, but I was able to, and I had some other things going on in my life. I moved to London to be on Channel 4, right? So I'm not
Hmm.
just some nobody in LA getting up at an open mic with 50 other comics. I'm getting up at an open mic in London, but I'm already on Channel 4. So that
Wow.
confidence that comes with that.
Mhm.
Now, it was poker, everyone, just so you know. It's not like I was on fucking How Many Cats or whatever that show is fucking called. Um,
How many cats?
it's not like I was
Yeah.
on. It's not like I was on Strictly Come Dine with Me. Um, so yeah,
Yeah.
so I had that confidence, but I remember even up until when I started working with Norm Macdonald in 2018, I remember going to him before one of our shows and saying like, "Dude, I get incredible anxiety right before I go on stage," and Norm
Mhm.
said, "Me too." He said it's never gone away.
Wow.
Yeah, and I will say that. So I when I don't really consider being in stand-ups that first time, right? I consider starting when I actually started doing it in London and taking it seriously. So that's 2013. So I'm 13 years in. I will say sometimes I don't have anxiety. Sometimes,
Okay. Is
like
there anything, yeah, reason
it.
around that? Hmm.
Yes. Um, it takes the perfect set of circumstances for me to not have any anxiety, and generally that is based on how much time I've had to prepare leading up to the show, how much time I've had to prepare the day of the show, how many people I know are in the audience, and then like the importance of the gig. Like, is this a gig that could lead to other better things? And
That, mhm.
yeah, so if those things all fall into like a certain sweet spot, oh, and sobriety level.
I was gonna say, yeah, because if you're fucking hungover, like you're just surely standing there like,
I don't get
or
hangovers, but I do perform worse on days when I've had a crazy night the night before and not much sleep. And I think it's the anxiety, because I don't get
mm,
headaches or throw up or anything like that. I'm
me
pretty good
neither.
the next day, but I do have that like that feeling of like what of wanting to cry.
Dread.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know, me too. And you're literally describing exactly what I've been through too with the DJing and everything else. And just, yeah, and I still
I
have
bet
it.
there's a
And
sweet spot. Yeah, I'm sure there's a sweet spot for that.
this,
And Being too
Well,
fucked up is not good, especially when we're talking
mm,
sobriety levels. But being completely sober is probably better than being too fucked up. But is
not
it
for
not?
me.
Not for
No,
you?
I take Klonopin every day, and when I was DJing, this is why one of the reasons I
Viva la
stopped DJing.
Mexico! Klonopin without a prescription.
I didn't say that. And yeah, like when I was DJing, I mean, at Glastonbury and things like that, first of all, sometimes I'd be 3 days in, three bender days in, and then I'd wake up, vodka breakfast, 17 beers, and then I'd go and do a perfect DJ set. So for me, but I wasn't talking to the crowd, otherwise I'd have been like, but
Right.
yeah, so it was
You were
different
talking through
DJing.
your sweet fucking tunes.
Sweet drum and bass, liquid drum and bass, and fucking round records and stuff. But yeah, anyways. And so like question, so what's the most unhinged thing that's ever happened to you at a poke event that you've never actually fully told that I can know
The most
and no one else
unhinged
can?
thing that's ever happened to me at a poker event. I mean, there were several times that I probably broadcast on 0 to 2 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
Um, there's
Sorry.
probably quite a few occasions where that happened. Um, by the way, I've worked for lots of companies over the years, so there's no telling
No,
who.
who?
Actually, there was one time I can actually tell a story. There was one time where I was hosting a thing in Las Vegas. It was in something called the Cube, and they had
Mm,
built this. Basically, this guy who was like, "Look, why is poker not a spectator sport?" And I'm like, "Well, because if you show the cards to the audience can yell out what the cards are, and then the
mm,
people can hear it." And so this guy built a cube, a soundproof cube, for players to stand inside. They'd play heads up against each other, and
yeah.
they would show the outside audience what the cards were. But because the cube was, you could only see in from one way, and it was soundproof, it was kind of his way of making it a spectator sport. So I was working on this basically pilot for this, and I was hanging out with a lady friend in Las Vegas, and I had to do. It was like I just have to do 4 heads up matches the next day. Like how long could that possibly take? So I ended up staying up all night with this young lady, and I had a very nice time. And
Hmm.
I roll up to work, and I'm like, it's just 4 heads up matches. How long could it take? Now, here is the thing about this particular setup. Because of the way the audio was rigged, they could not run the air conditioning to the commentator booth during the play because it was like showing up, it was like messing with the audio.
Mm.
This day took 12 hours, and we were broadcasting on our feet.
Oh
Now,
God.
so their camera would cut to us. We'd be standing there in suits and shorts because you couldn't see our legs,
Yeah.
and the air conditioning wasn't on in Las Vegas. And I was like, so I showed up. I worked from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Mm.
on zero sleep, and was just drenched in sweat every time the camera cut to me, to the point where we had to like make a gag out of it. Um,
Have you got a clip of that?
there's a photo of it. Yeah,
You got to send that to me, please.
yeah,
I'll flash that up. Yeah, sorry, Karen.
yeah. So that was pretty unhinged. That was a fairly unhinged thing. I've had something that was fairly unhinged. I won't name the player's name, but
Mm.
I said something about someone in commentary once. Not just one player, by the way. This has happened maybe like 2 or 3 times over thousands of hours of commentary. So it's really not that much, where I've gotten off the air and the player's been waiting for me to have a comment about what I've said about them
Oh
in
shit.
commentary. Yeah.
What
That's
did he get
happened a couple of
punched?
times. Never gotten punched. One guy did say he wanted to punch me,
Right.
but did not punch me. And one person was offended because we were friends and
Hmm.
thought that I was a little harsh. And I actually did walk that back. I was like, you know what? That probably was a little harsh. I don't know why you had to like come find me in the commentary area, um, but so I did walk that one back. But you know, it's a difficult tightrope to walk doing the
Mm.
job that I do,
Yeah,
and that I'm funny, and it's very difficult to be funny without making fun of
of
people.
course.
And
Yeah.
so I luckily people get my shtick. They get the goofs that I do on them. There's never anything particularly mean. I do have one rule, which is that I will only make fun, and it's also very mild, but I only make fun of someone's appearance if it's a choice that they have made.
Right,
So
like
I
what they're
would
wearing or
exactly
yeah.
what they're wearing, their hairstyle, tattoos, earrings, accessories, whatever. I would
Yeah.
never make fun of somebody's body
Like,
size. In my youth, I did comment quite a bit on attractive female players, and I do regret that.
oh really? Because
Um,
that's what I was going to ask you.
yeah,
Most
no, I do.
attractive. Mm.
It's not even that I regret it. I wouldn't do it now. I just didn't quite understand that kind of attention and what female players go through,
Mm.
and and how it kind of does detract from their qualifications. Now I did it in a
Yeah.
sort of like, oh my god, I have a crush on you kind of way, like, oh, I'm enamored by you, like birds chirping type of stuff. um, but I certainly wouldn't do that now. If anything, now, and you
Yeah.
could argue that this isn't cool either, I'll talk about how hot a guy is. I'll be like,
Mm.
oh my god, he's so hot. I'll be like, James, look how wet I am right now from how hot this guy
Well, it's
is.
yeah, and that's nice. And guys don't get to hear that very often. So,
Yeah, and I think
just
there's no danger there, right? Like there is an inherent danger that you don't know. Y'all have to fear men quite a bit. Whereas I don't think that one of these poker players is really worried that I'm going to follow them to the parking lot, or
you
that
sure?
my comments, well, maybe just to ask for a loan, or that my
Yeah.
comments will get someone riled up about them and think that they can make those sorts of comments as well. So,
Hmm.
um, yeah, but that's my main rule for if I'm going to goof on somebody, I'll goof on something they said. And over the years, I've made some mistakes and said some things that I wouldn't say crossed the line, but got a little too close to it. And there was one time a guy came up to me and he was like, it really wasn't cool what you said, and I was like, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, and me and that guy are cool now, and
Yeah, because
um,
you owned it.
yeah, but there is and the thing about comedy in general is like I have some things in my act that are
Mm.
pretty that some people may find offensive.
Mm.
And if someone came up to me after a show and said I found that offensive, I would go, "That's okay. That's
That's your,
totally
but
fine.
yeah, but
That's
Ricky
okay."
Gervais would he'd be like, it's not up to you. But like I was gonna say, what heckler wise, then, if you have said something that offended someone or whatever, like, what's the worst thing you've ever had? And when you won, like when you're most proud of winning with the heckler, and then when you lost,
The first time I got heckled was in London, and the person thought I was doing a racist joke, and to be honest, they were right, and they yelled "not funny" and left, and
right?
they were right. It was, again, it's not the style of humor I would go for now, and I think that a lot of comedians when they're starting out think they have to be edgy. They think they
Mm.
have to push the limits. They have to exercise free speech, and
Yeah.
I was
I
like,
think
yeah.
I was just going to say, I think like you've really got to be that certain type of person to be able to get away with that, like Jim Jeffries, Ricky Gervais, people like that.
So someone
Like
called me. Sorry, Jim Jeffries. Sorry, someone. What was the other guy? Jim.
Ricky Gervais.
No, no, no.
Uh,
There's a racist, like an actual racist comic from the UK that someone called
oh,
me him after that show.
oh
It's
dear.
Jim something. Anyway, it doesn't matter because if I say him and then he's not racist
Yeah.
and he can sue me. But anyway,
Oh yeah.
um, so yeah, so now that I'm a little more skilled as a comic, I can actually do a little bit more that's on the offensive side. But anyway, that's the first time I was heckled,
Mm-hmm.
and they won for sure. And then the second time I was heckled was also in London, and I mentioned being on the pokers on Channel 4, and a guy yelled, "Nobody watches that." And then
Wow.
this is one of the most embarrassing stories of my life, brought up how much money I make. And
Mm.
that is another win for the heckler. Like, that was definitely
Oh
so
geez.
cringe. and so
Yeah.
poorly handled. And
You didn't you didn't fabricate the number, or you actually said the true number?
I didn't say the true number. I was just like, yeah, but I make more money than you. Like, it was really just not even funny, not even. Came from
Right.
pure lizard brain.
Right.
Because the thing that I found so offensive is that I was another comedian who
Hmm.
heckled me, and that's just like such a fucking no no unless they're trying to help you.
Hmm.
Um, so I get heckled very infrequently, very very infrequently. Typically, when I am being heckled, I think your pal maybe is like this. Your
Which
pal,
bell?
our mutual friend, um, is that a lot
Oh.
of times it's because the person's such a big fan that they just want to talk to you and they
Mm.
just want to
Yeah.
participate in the show. And that kind of heckling is kind of weird because
Did he
they
do that?
love you. I can't remember. There was two guys that I knew around the same time that they're kind of similar, and I can't remember which one of them was. So it may not have been him. Um, but they're just so excited to be there, and they like want to respond to your jokes,
Mm.
and that's a particularly difficult kind of heckling to
Yeah.
deal with because you don't want to comedian destroys heckler to someone who's just like your biggest fan.
Yeah.
um, and so I do find that most of the time people are trying to help out. But the biggest problem with the kids these days is
Hmm.
that, excuse me, two things. Everyone's first experience with stand up comedy is watching it on their phone.
Hmm.
So, two things happen from watching on your phone. One is that most of what comedians upload is crowd work clips because it does really well. The algorithm likes them. It's made up. It's in the spot, and like it makes them seem really sharp and funny. And also, it doesn't burn their material. That's a
Hmm.
moment that will only exist in that moment, so they can put it online, and they'll never have to worry about people coming to their show and seeing something they've already seen. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
What happens because of that is there are many, many young people who go to see stand-up comedy for the first time live, and they think that's what stand-up comedy
Right.
is you
Okay.
yelling at the comic and him putting you down, and everyone has a good time. And what makes it even worse is there are a couple of comics who that is
My
their whole
Matt
shtick,
Rife.
like Matt
Mm.
Rife. That
Hmm.
is, he wants that. He invites that. He welcomes that. There's a guy named Ian Bagg who, no offense to Matt, who runs circles around Matt Rife, crowd
Hmm.
work wise. He's
Yeah.
incredible at it. But most
Need to check
comics
him
would prefer you shut the fuck up, which brings me to point number two about watching on your phone. People don't laugh. They
out.
are
Well, I'm.
so used to watching something in silence on their
Yeah.
phone
Yeah.
and scrolling to the next clip, and there's no shared experience. There's no person to hear their laugh,
Mm.
and they're just mindlessly waiting, going from clip to clip, and going. So
Well,
when they
yes. Yeah.
so when
But
they come
sometimes
see,
it's. Sorry.
sorry,
Go ahead.
well,
No, I was just gonna.
when they
Go
come
on.
to stand up comedy live, they sit there like they're watching it on their phone.
Oh, you've really okay. I obviously don't know because I've never been on the other side of that. But wow, that's awful. Do you think that's really because like remember when I guess this wasn't a comedy show, but I and again I keep bringing up he's my favorite comedian, but Ricky Gervais was hosting the Golden Globes, like cracking up the whole. I mean, obviously the audience was mortified because it was all about them, but yeah, like genuinely crying with laughter watching shit like that. So I don't know, like maybe it's the nerves. Okay, so once I went to a comedy show, I can't remember what his name is, massive comedian. I didn't laugh I was nervous because I didn't want to be picked on. So the whole way through, I'm just like not
You are easily
concentrating.
spottable, yeah.
Yeah, just nothing. I'm not. Yeah, like I just wanted to like disappear. It was like he kept picking on people, and I was like, I don't want. So that made me quiet. I'm not speaking for everyone else, but yeah, that made me not laugh at anything, and I was just terrified the whole way through and wanting it to end.
Sure,
So
and that sort of anxiety. So to address your first point about the Golden Globes, those aren't. That's not an audience full of Gen Z and Gen Alpha kids. That's an audience full of our generation. So they didn't grow up. Well, they grew up going to movie theaters and going to stand up comedy, where that
Mm.
shared experience makes you more outwardly emotional and not keep everything in here in your little brain while you scroll.
Mm.
Um, that anxiety that you felt as an audience member, I felt that anxiety too as a young man going to see stand up comedy. I'm afraid the comedian's going to pick on me, and I always make it clear to the audience, like if I'm hanging out before the show or if people ask questions, that's not my shtick. I don't do it at all. I
Mm.
will occasionally, if I have to, address someone in the audience because they're making me do it. But I don't.
Right.
I don't actually. I do one thing in my act where I'm pretending to make fun of people, where I say I'm one of the. I'm a TV poker commentator, and in order to have that job, you have to have a deeply innate understanding of the game of poker and be able to translate it and break it down into small, easily digestible comments, or be really good at making fun of people's t-shirts. And I'm one of the best people in the world at making fun of t-shirts. Want to see? Hey, you. Yeah, nice black t-shirt. Hey, you. Well, what are you, a blueberry guy? And I'll do a thing where I'm really terrible at making fun of the t-shirts in the crowd. But other than that, I don't fuck with the audience unless they
Mm.
fuck with me. Now, when that happens, you have to, because if
Yeah.
you ignore it, the audience loses respect for you
Completely.
and
That's what
they
I
stop
would.
laughing.
Yeah, you got to be funnier. You're the stand-up comedian in the spotlight. You have to be
Exactly.
funnier than the, yeah, that's so
Exactly.
stressful. I would never be able to do that.
I don't
And
get
I,
fucked with that often because I command the room.
yeah, you
I
absolutely.
am loud. I have an energy about me. I don't leave room for people to do that stuff. So they don't mess with me that often.
Hmm. And I'm wondering, like, I think we spoke about this before about like Hollywood and stuff, but like, have you got any super, I know you obviously probably can't say names and who did what and when and where, but have you got any like really memorable Hollywood Hills crazy, crazy parties and yeah, that you just can never forget?
My first party in the Hollywood Hills, I was on Mulholland Drive, like within my first couple months of moving here, and they had like an infinity pool, which I'd never seen in person, certainly not in someone's house. And the guy had it. This was in 2002. So this guy had this giant tablet that he was
Hmm.
using to control the lights and the music, and this was long. This was before the iPhone, let alone the iPad.
Yeah.
This was, I had a Sprint flip phone this year in LA. And that was one of the coolest things I'd ever seen. But then what happened was I'm wandering around the house and they've got like a sex swing. No one's on it, but there is one. And then I wander into a bedroom. And when I get in there, there's a bunch of people doing cocaine.
Hey,
And I just close the door and I go find my friends. And I'm like, guys, we
gotta get
gotta
out of
get the
here.
fuck out of here. There's cocaine at this party. I thought the
Yeah.
cops were gonna show up. I thought
Oh,
the you know I
did
thought there was gonna be like a
you?
shootout with the cartels. Like everything I had ever heard about drugs was that like
Yeah.
something terrible was about to happen, and so I like went and told my friends we need to leave, and they all just laughed at me. They all just thought I was the biggest dork in the
Yeah, I was
entire
gonna say
world.
it was quite geeky. I love
Yeah,
it. Considering Hollywood is basically a bag of cocaine.
yeah, but I will
It's
say I
just
played because of poker. I've done really cool shit poker wise. Like I've played poker at Shannon Elizabeth's house. I've played poker
yeah.
at Jerry Cantrell's house. I've played
Nice.
poker with Dane Cook, with John Hamm, with Michael Cera. Um, yeah, I've I went to a really cool running charades game in the Hollywood Hills a
Mm.
couple of years ago. Nathan Fillion was playing in that game, and Breckin Meyer was playing in that game.
Wow.
Um, I've been lucky to have some really cool experiences. If you like name dropping,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't mind it. I don't mind dropping a
I
name
mean,
from
it's true.
time to
Mm.
time. Um, so yeah, so I mean, look, I owned a house. It wasn't in the hills, but I owned a house with a pool for about 5 years, from 2020 to 2025, and I had some pretty amazing pool parties at my house that would start at 2 p.m. or 1 p.m. and go until 9 a.m. the next day. We had some really good times.
Yeah.
at my house and my pool party. So I
Some
have
big guests.
again, if you whispered in my ear at 15 years old when I was maybe the most miserable I've ever been in my
Oh,
entire life and said, "This is all gonna turn out okay, and you're gonna have your dream life in
yeah.
30, 20 years," I would have been less sad. That's for sure.
That's crazy. And I admire you a lot because I have this thing where I just flit around like, I don't know if I'm allowed to say the word gypsy anymore. Everything's so censored,
Yeah,
but
not really. A
I,
wanderer, I think you're allowed to
a
say.
wanderer.
You have
And
wanderlust. You like
yeah,
banging wander.
I do. I love banging wonder. Yeah, and I just like I did DJing for a long time and producing and stuff, and now I'm doing rock and now la 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 and lots of things. But I haven't stayed and be able to stay in one place for like more than a month or 3 months or whatever. But I think you get that fill from your job because you literally don't. You get paid to travel around the world continuously. So, do you think if you didn't have that, you would be like stable in one place, or would you be like a wanderer?
It's so hard to say because I went from being about as like quintessential stereotypical American as far as like we do everything the best here. Who would ever want to go to a foreign country?
MAGA.
It's crap there. America rocks. Even though my mom's from France, I went from feeling like that to getting a job that sent me. There was a little bit of stuff in between, but like to getting me a job that forced me to travel all over the world, and I cannot believe how wrong I was. I cannot
Yeah.
believe how stupid and small minded I was in my youth, and I credit seeing the world with opening my mind up and seeing other
Mm.
cultures and seeing that not everything is as it seems when you only stay in one place. So
Yeah.
if I never got that opportunity, I don't know that I would have had a wanderlust. And I also can say that I have traveled enough. I
Mm.
am over it for right now.
Me too.
I went on my first vacation, my first real vacation in probably 12 years. This past November, I went to Thailand,
Oh, I love
and
Thailand.
I'd never been to Thailand. I really enjoyed Thailand, but on my way back on the 19-hour flight or whatever it was, I was like, I don't know that this was worth it. I can get on
What?
a 2 hour
No
flight to
way.
Mexico and experience great food and great culture and
Great
good value
forward.
for your dollar and beautiful scenery and not travel 19 hours to Thailand. I just am over airports and airport
Yeah,
security
me too.
and flying, and I'm not look, I was the first time in my life I bought a business class ticket for myself for
Ooh,
the
what do you
first time
mean? When?
when I went to Thailand.
Oh, okay. I
I
thought you
bought a
would have gone all the time. Business
No, no,
class,
I
darling.
fly business class pretty regularly with work, but it's the first time I
Right.
bought it for myself.
Oh, I see.
And I was still miserable. I mean, I wasn't that, look, first world problems here.
Miserable.
The business
Yeah.
class that I got, I still had a middle seat, even though it was a business class ticket. Freaking
Oh,
British Airways. I had to climb over somebody to get in and out of my seat. And because I was in the middle, they weren't giving me the fucking food and drink I paid for. They just
God
kept
damn
going
it.
by me.
No
And so,
champagne. Fuck.
yeah, so I was like, I think given the opportunity to stop traveling for a while, I would like to spend a couple of months in the same place. Like
Mm.
I think the longest I've ever spent in the last 15 years without getting on an airplane is 5 weeks.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a lot. That is a lot. And I'm the same. I mean, I'm not the same as you. I don't get paid to do it, unfortunately. I just choose to be doing that. But I am now at the point where I'm just like, I am done. I'm so done. I'm getting my temporary residency here and staying in Mexico. I just can't. I tried the States, you know that I've tried for a year and it's not that I don't like the States. It's just, I mean, right now for me, politically fucking insane. But when I was there, it wasn't, it wasn't as insane as it is now. And I don't know, it's just something I didn't feel at home. I didn't feel at home. I felt at home in Thailand though, and Bali. Mexico, though, I'm like basically Mexican now, and people are gonna laugh at me for saying that because look at me. But I've spent more time here than anywhere, and I absolutely can't stand England any. English people, yes, I just can't stand England anymore. Like, I don't know if you've been recently, but like,
I go to
ugh.
England pretty regularly. However, I only really see London, and
Mm,
London's got a really special place in my heart. I love London quite a bit.
good.
But but I'm not seeing the rest of England very often.
Yeah, fair. And I wanted to ask you, what is the most like, I don't know if you can answer this. I'm sure you can. It's in the past. This is going to be a hilarious story that you thought in your mind like mid-date.
Sorry, like I'm on a date and then I decide to tell a story.
Or you just think you either tell it as you just in stand up, or you're just like, oh my fucking God, this is gonna be the most ridiculous story ever to my friends or whatever. What
Oh,
happened?
like just a horrific date that I was on.
Mm,
I think that there was. I'm just gonna rattle off a couple
mm,
really quick. One was I went on a date to Brewdog in Shoreditch, and it was pouring rain.
love that place.
And I got there before my date, and I went and ordered a drink, and I didn't have my wallet. Like the first time ever that I had forgotten my wallet. Now, my I walked across to Shoreditch overground to pick her up.
Hmm.
Pouring rain, and she gets off the train, and I'm like, "Hey, I don't have my wallet. I'm not trying to get you to pay. I'm not trying to bail out on this date. I don't know what to do. I live about 10 minutes from here. I'm not trying to skip over the date and get you to come back to my place with me, but
Oh
I also
fuck.
don't want to leave you here alone. What do you want to do? I genuinely, I'm so sorry." And I could tell she didn't trust it at all. She did
Really?
not trust it at all. I was like, "Look, you don't have to come inside. You can just wait in the cab. I'll come right back out." Truth be told, I ended up not finding her very attractive, and if she had canceled the date right then, I would have been fine with it. But that's not what I was trying to
Oh
do.
no,
I go through the date no matter what. I don't like. I did early on in
really,
my
I
online
don't.
dating days. I did bail out once because I'd met like five people in a row who weren't that honest about their appearance.
Photos.
Yeah,
Mm.
and like the fifth time it happened, I like pretended to get a phone call. I was like, "I'm so sorry, my roommate's locked out. Gotta go." Um,
It's
I
good that you
I
can act. I'm not
I
good at
feel bad
acting
about
like
that.
that.
No, she knew. Oh, she definitely knew.
Oh fuck,
Yeah,
yeah,
no, there was no hiding it.
yeah.
So she ends up getting in the cab and going with me, and then when we get to the place, she's like, "I need to use the bathroom." So I was like, "Yeah, of course you can use my bathroom." So we go inside. I get my wallet. We do cab back to Brewdog, and then from that point on, we don't get on at all. Like
Like
at all. Like oil and
awkward
water.
silence, clinking of the
Not
thing,
awkward
and
silence, just
right.
disagreeing about everything.
Oh no.
And I was a pretty good dater. Like I like most people.
Hmm.
And most people can at least tolerate me.
Oh, I know
No
everyone loves you.
there
No,
was no
really.
there was
Yeah.
no like just did not care for each other. And I guess this is a long build up for what ended up happening was we went to one more place. I actually got a story out of it that I still use in my act, and as a DJ this might be offensive to you. But
Nothing is.
I went we went to this one bar. I can't remember what it was. It was a tiny bar, but it had a DJ set up, and he was, mixing whatever. It wasn't like house. It was like pop music mixed in or whatever.
Mm.
And the girl I was with really wanted to hear Prince, so I grabbed a fiver and I went over to the DJ booth. I was like, "Hey man, do you think you could play some Prince?" And he's like, "Fuck you." And I'm like, "What?" He goes, "I'm an
Whoa.
artist." He goes, "I'm an artist, mate. You don't get to
No.
tell me what to play. You think I want your tip money? You don't tip an artist."
Was he
And I was
playing his
like,
own tracks? Fuck me. Sorry, anyway, go.
and I was like, well, first of all, like, you ever heard of the Renaissance? You do, and I was like, you know what? No, you don't. You don't. Yeah, of course you don't tip an artist. And I was like, buddy, I think Rihanna is the artist.
Yeah,
You're the
exactly.
guy who's pressing play. Like,
Yeah.
you're an
Oh,
iPod. You're an iPod that vapes. Like, you have an you know what I mean? Like a random shuffle can do your job.
a
I
monkey. Yeah.
artist is Prince. And so I was
Hmm.
like, I think that, if we were in an art museum,
Yeah.
you're confusing the artist with the guy who hangs the paintings.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Did you
as
actually
soon
say
as
that to him?
and as soon as you put up one that we like, you fucking take it back down before we're finished looking at it.
That's such a good way to describe it. Oh my gosh.
So
And
anyway,
pop.
this goes on. We don't like each other. I'm like, I've put in my time. It's like midnight now. I've done enough. And she's like, should we go back to yours? And I'm like, are you
Ooh.
fucking kidding me? No.
Maybe
No,
she loved the fucking back and forth, I hate you bullshit, so you could
I
have angry
guess,
sex.
but that is not for me. That is not,
No.
that might be one of 6 times in my life I turned down sex. But
Wow.
I was just not feeling it. So that was a pretty bad date.
Did you say that was in Shoreditch?
Yes, that was in
Yeah,
short.
that
I
would
love taking
explain a
dates to
lot
Shoreditch. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but
I live like
remember
a 10-minute walk from like that strip in
the
Shoreditch
Shoreditch
where.
twats, though. He must have been a Shoreditch twat. You don't say I'm an artist whilst mixing pop music with other
Oh, that
people.
guy probably. Yeah, whatever. But he gave me a great story at least.
Yeah. And as you were saying before, like I tried to look at your IMDb because obviously I only know you from sort of personal chats about various things. But like, have you considered going into actual like movies, comedy acting and stuff like that? And have you had any offers? And or are you just content where you are right now?
This is kind of like when my mom's like, "Have you ever considered dating Jessica Biel?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I fucking considered it. It's not a unilateral decision here."
You could just
A,
get an agent.
a couple of things is that yes, there was when I moved to LA, I was afraid to admit to myself that I wanted to be in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Somehow, because I thought it was stupid and people would make fun of me and it was embarrassing and it was hard. And if you failed at it, then that's embarrassing too. Somehow I ended up in front of the camera anyway. Somehow that happened despite me not even really trying and me being scared to do it. It happened anyway. I would absolutely love to be a television or film actor. However, something I have learned is that not only is it difficult to be successful at those things, it's difficult to be good at it. It's not easy to be
Hmm.
good. It's not just as easy as showing up and saying the lines or even it's just there's a lot to it and that's a real skill. It's a
Yeah,
real
but
skill.
you like, okay, maybe you don't, but like, I swear you must rehearse your lines or stories at least for comedy and then have to act them out because you're not always going to be being yourself for comedy shows. You're going to have to morph into somebody else at times to get through it when you're not in the mood and stuff like that. Surely that's the same.
Even though there's some point to what you're saying when you're doing it in in a studio or an audition room, there's no audience. There's one person. You're doing it to a video camera. It's someone else's words that they've written for you.
Mm,
There are
okay.
other actors involved. There are set pieces. There are all these other things. There's like you have doing a take consistently. Like you can't just come in and like do it. I can choose to do my act a totally different way every single time and see which one's better. When you're
Hmm.
on a set, you get one, maybe two tries at doing something. After that, that's it. So it's a totally different beast. Now, having said that, I think that I have been both blessed and cursed by the fact that poker has kept me busy for the last
Mm.
15 years. I have an agent, I have a
Yeah.
manager, I had a theatrical agent briefly, I have a commercial agent, I have a voiceover agent. It's
Wow.
difficult when they say, "What is your availability next month?" And I go, "Well, I'm here 3 days in April, 2 days
Hmm.
in May. I'm gone for all of June, half of July. I have 1 week in July. Then I'm on vacation. then I have 1 week and off. You know what I mean? Like that's been my
Mm.
availability. So I've never really gotten to really take it seriously or give it a try. But if I were able to reduce that travel schedule somehow, I think that I would be able to do some things. And I know a lot of successful actors and actresses, and it's really hard, and I don't want to insult them by being like, "Hey, I'm gonna do acting now," because when someone
Yep.
says to me, "I'm gonna do stand up now," I'm like, "All right, yep, sure, good, best of luck."
Well, that's what I was going to ask you is like, what advice would you give to sort of up and coming comedians trying to break through? He would just be
Are we
good
talking a
luck,
brand new comedian or an up and coming comedian?
up and
Because I
coming.
I'm still up and coming. I just did a show
Would you?
last
'Cause
weekend in LA called was tagged as LA's funniest undiscovered comics. So like
really?
yeah,
Yeah,
like
but you
I'm
are
known for
sort of
poker.
famous. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm what they call it. I'm niche famous, which is a French word that means not at all.
Okay. Well, I had a very good response when I wrote, "Oh, Joe Stapleton, first episode, of Unhinged." I was like, "Wow, how'd you get him?" Blah, blah. I
I
think
think
maybe
they
you're
were
just
excited
modest.
about you. I
Oh,
think these
come
were
on.
your fans who were like
No.
excited that you're doing a podcast. I don't think it had much to do with me.
Oh, come on. You have loads of fans and, I think you're just very modest and like,
I think if
self-deprecating.
I'd stayed in the UK, then I might be a bigger name there, and I think that maybe I could be doing a bit more mainstream stuff there because I stand out a little more in the
Mm,
UK, and that's, I believe, probably where most of your Facebook responses are coming from because I was
hmm
on channel 4 in the UK, but in America I'm on channel 1215. So I don't have the same reach here.
1,200. Okay, so like where would you want to, is there any way, do you feel like, would you want to climb, how would you climb the ladder and where would you go if, with your agents and all of those things and everything you're doing, what would you like is there a goal?
I think the only thing I could really get away with is doing the style of comedic acting that most stand-up comedians end up doing that are pretty much some exaggerated version of themselves, like Andrew Schultz
Jim
or
Jeffries.
or Jim Jeffries or Shane Gillis. These are guys that are really talented comedic actors, but they're not really playing other characters. They're playing themselves in like a different setting, and I would
Yeah.
I would start there. I would start with that. Hold on, it's a mosquito. Nobody gets
Don't worry,
mad
it's
if you
not.
kill a mosquito, right?
No.
So
I've got
yeah,
dengue
so
fever twice. Yeah.
did you wait? That explains a lot about you, actually.
No, I was crazier before that. They
Really? Oh,
sucked
it
the
made you. It,
craziness
it made you
out.
more. I see. I got it. You're like the one
Yeah.
person. The mosquito is now off, like fucking raving,
No,
and
yeah. No, it's funny because I think in this, I'm not coming across. I'm coming across fairly normal, which is
you're
nice
doing
for
a great
once.
job with this interview.
Thank you. Well, I have done, like I said, TV presenting and radio, but radio is very different. You don't need to show your face, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I was terrified TV presenting at MTV when I was only 15, though. So, but, okay, just quickly then we'll round off. Like, and it's a very cliche question, but I personally want to know, like, what is the highlight of your career so far?
Well, let's just keep it to stand up because poker has been so incredible, and it's really hard to pick standout moments from poker. And I've gotten to see the world, and I'm really so grateful for that. But um, as far as stand up comedy goes, if I never get a special, never end up on Comedy Central, never do the Tonight Show. Um, Someone once asked Dave Chappelle who the greatest stand-up comedian of all time is, and
Mm.
Dave Chappelle said Norm Macdonald. And I toured with Norm Macdonald for a year and a half. We wrote jokes together.
Oh,
We traveled together. I slept on his couch. We spent
that's amazing.
hours and hours and hours together, and he chose me. He picked
Wow.
me to be his feature act for about a year and a half, 20, 15, 20 some odd gigs. And if nothing else ever happens for me in my stand-up comedy career, I know that arguably the funniest person who ever lived thought I
Mm,
was funny enough to represent him. And
yeah.
so
What?
that is a perfectly good highlight for me if I achieve nothing else in comedy.
Yeah. I don't think I can get much better than that. Like 0.00000 whatever percentage of the population would ever be able to say that. So
I mean,
I
he did
think
have
you'd
quite a few future acts, but um, over the years. But yes, it's still an infinitesimally small number of people who can say that. If I don't ever sell out an arena, I'll be able to go, "Hey, this was the funniest guy of all time, possibly." And
mm,
he and I were pals, and I wrote some of his jokes, and he wrote some of mine.
wow. And the fact that you wrote some of his jokes as well is absolutely incredible. You're so modest, dude.
I mean,
Um,
if I could put that on a bumper sticker on my car, I would. I just don't think people would really get it.
you're so modest, dude. Okay,
No, I mean,
last.
I wrote jokes for Norm Macdonald. Like I
Yeah,
would
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
put that in my Twitter profile, probably.
Why don't you?
I guess I am modest.
Yeah, you are. See, and then so what? Lastly, like, what have you got coming up next? Like, where can we see you? Where can we? Yeah, YouTube, fucking
I
what?
don't know what your editing schedule is, but I'll be doing live commentary from EPT Monte Carlo
Hmm.
starting on, hold on now, starting on May. I just got an email about it today.
Cool.
What are our.
Monte Carlo, love it. I was there with Gabs. Sorry, never should bring him up. Yeah. Hello to
One second.
Gabs if he ever did see this. I really hope you're doing well.
I just got it.
Meant
Hold on.
that. Yep.
No, no. Yeah, this is it. I'm looking at it right now. Sunday, May 3rd. I start broadcasting from EPT Monte Carlo. It's 8 days of live commentary. We're doing a 100K high roller, a 250K super high roller. We're doing a high stakes cash game. We're doing the main event. So that's where people can see me. I don't have any stand up booked yet, but I will most likely be doing some shows in Las Vegas this summer. While the World Series
Nice.
of Poker is going on, I'll probably be around for most of that, and so I'll do some stand-up shows during that. And thank you for asking. They can
Yeah.
follow me
No,
on
thank you.
Instagram if they don't want to be inundated
Yeah.
by annoying libtard political material on X. You can
Yeah.
follow me on Instagram, where there's far less of that. Instastapes is my
Uh-huh.
Instagram handle. That is probably the best way to keep up with me.
And I'm gonna add Comedy Central on every single person you mentioned earlier
Yeah,
in
that's right.
this. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Joe. I really do appreciate it. Like I said, it's
Of
episode 1,
course.
my first podcast, and Unhinged, I think as I go, I'll get more and more like, what can I say? What can but I love,
We were pretty hinged in this
yeah,
conversation,
we
but
were pretty hinged.
you got to get other people on your podcast who don't have corporate
It,
entities
contracts.
paying for their mortgages, and then maybe they'll become a little more unhinged.
I'll just get people like full on drugs in the interview and then go from there.
I'm sure you
But
have
yeah,
plenty of people willing to do that.
of course I do. Well, yeah, thank you again, Joe. And it was so lovely to see you. And yeah, I guess I'll chat to you after.
All right, very good.
All right. Thanks a lot. Take
Smell you
care.
later, Olivia's fans.
Goodbye, Joe Stapleton's fans.
Did you know I never had a soul?